We got four really good teams here. It's great to have Newton back. And those guys do such a good job with the wing tee. And you got Matty, who I just love, and he does a good job. And Kaz is, branching out a little bit from the wing tee. He's taking it to the next level. So it's a good fundamental skills camp. Great coaches, guys from all over the country. And it's June. It's great to have guys running around with pads on, hitting, playing a little football.
This camp has a long tradition, especially in this area, and the cornerstones of the camp are Lenape Valley and Roxbury, and Don Smolin and Cosmo LaRusso. But we've grown over the years. This year we have Newton and we have North Warren, and these are wing tee purists who a lot of the coaches that have come together for this camp have a lot of history together. We've either played together, coached together. Actually, the owner of the camp, Steve Verbit, and I were college roommates and teammates. It's a great way to come together. It's also a great way to get to know some of these young men as potential recruits, but to refresh you in terms of your football skills as a coach. Sometimes being a head coach, you spend way too much time at your desk and not enough time on the field with the X's and O's, and that's a refreshing part about being a part of this camp.
I coached under Don Smolin, back in, from '89 to '94, and we've maintained a great friendship since then. And we've always, done a camp wherever I've been, whether it was at Pequannock or here. We've always, worked together, to help our offenses evolve and things like that. So this is just, it's really the kickoff of our football season, and it's something that, the kids. I always say that the kids look forward to it. My wife tells me that they really don't, but at least I told them it's something that they have to endure, and something that all the teams from Roxbury in the past have done, and I really think it sets the tone for the summer.
It seems like every year, we starting earlier and earlier, and you almost have to just to stay on top of it and stay up to date against your competition. So we look forward to it. We pencil it on our calendar at our end of the year banquet. The kids know when this camp is, and we come here. We got three groups working, three offenses. So I'm pretty pleased with our turnout, and it's just a good way to kick off the season.
There's no denying when the Delaware wing tee offense is run correctly, you could be very successful. You don't have to go any further than looking at Don Smolin, who has over 300 career wins running that offense.
I think now it's becoming, there's less and less people running it. Everybody sees what's going on Friday nights and Saturdays with the spread offense and stuff like that, and there's just a few of us left there trying to keep this offense alive.
If they believe in the offense, it's a system of teaching the game of football, and it is a progression of series within the offense where one play complements another play, complements a pass, and it makes it very difficult to defend. And even over the course of time, there have been wrinkles added to the offense. It still becomes a difficult thing to defend, especially if you're one of the only teams in your league that's running it, because during a game week, which you only have like 3 or 4 days to prepare, it becomes hard for your scout team to really do a good job of mimicking the offense, and I think that's the advantage of it. It happens fast. I like the way these teams play. They play fast, not a slow down at all.
It's really great, for kids that are willing to work hard. We get that blue-collar mentality. You get kids that, sometimes are undersized, but if they're willing to work hard and they have an attention to detail and they're very discipline-minded, you could be successful regardless of your experience level. And that's what we got here. We got a very experienced first group. It's come to the camp now for the 4th year with me. Our second group, some of those guys are first or second years. And then our third group, their heads are spinning. It's their first year. But the kids we bring, they're tough, hard-nosed kids. And, if they take to the discipline, they take to the coaching, they're going to be successful.
It's a difficult, offense to defend because it hits in so many different, spots. Now we've evolved even outside of it a little bit more. And so even, within the camp here, you have some, teams that are running, the traditional, stuff. We've evolved to more of a spread, stuff with wing tee concepts. And so that's the other dimension of it, is that, it's really flexible for, your personnel.
Lenape Valley, North Warren, Roxbury, and Newton are all here at Lenape Valley for this week's camp, and all the coaches believe it's good for their players to hear a different voice instead of theirs when it comes to learning the Delaware wing tee.
You get guys that have been running this offense for 30, 40 years, some of them close to 50, but it's it's kind of the same message, but they hear it from a guy that's a college head coach, that played at the University of Delaware, that's the head coach at Bucknell now, that he's emphasizing the same things that we're saying, and just reiterating them in his own little bit different way. There's other coaches here as well that run this offense throughout the country, so you usually get a little different wrinkle, that I'm willing to bring to our team as a coach. I'm learning. My coaching staff is learning. We come here; it's like a clinic on the field. So, for the players to experience it, I don't know if they really realize some of the coaches that are here, some of the Hall of Fame coaches that they're getting a chance to work with. But even the guys that aspire to play in college, they're getting a look at, and their attitude and their effort and their enthusiasm. So it's just a great opportunity.
That's one of the reasons why we come here, and I tell the kids that these guys, we've had a long tradition with each other. We trust them, and that when they hear it, coming from those guys, and it becomes a little bit more believable, and it's natural for kids to get tired of my voice, so when they hear, Coach Susan, or Coach Swan, giving instruction, and sometimes, and we're open to them also giving us new ideas, looking at things that, hey, Coach, I see you running it this way, why don't you try running it that way? So, there's no ego involved whatsoever, and that's the nice thing, because we're all friends and we share these ideas with each other.
The Gales lost in the second round of the playoffs last year to Paramus, but they're hoping to turn things around and get back to that championship game, a championship they won only a few years ago.
We're gearing up. We looked at the things that gave us, some trouble. We lost to Paramus in the semifinals last year. We have a lot of our skilled guys coming back. Our guys did a great job in the weight room, and we studied film and looked at, hey, what gave us some issues, and we hope that we've come up with some answers. But I know our guys have really worked hard and embraced. They want to get back. They want to get to the big game and give themselves a chance at a state championship.
I had a chance to ask the coaches their feelings about the non-public divide, and this is what they had to say.
Public should play publics, non-public should play non-publics. I mean, it's pretty simple, and everybody should play schools their own size. There's enough Group 2s in New Jersey that we can get a fair and equitable schedule, it's just the playing field's not level anymore with the non-publics, to be honest with you.
It's been a long time coming. It's something that I've been an advocate of and been promoting for a long time. Just it levels the playing field finally. Finally somebody's saying and I kept saying what's it going to take? Is it going to take some kid to really get hurt for them to to push this thing forward? It just happens that it stemmed from the Big North and those guys, when all of a sudden you're looking at traditional public school powerhouses like a Union City getting beat 72-0. It's those things where people say, hey, what are we looking at here? And so I am all for it. I've been at meetings with just the other public school coaches, because we realize that we have this one opportunity right now in front of us, and we want to make sure that we put everything together just so when we present to the ADs. Now in our conference, it still hasn't gone to vote yet, because it had to get presented first, and then it will be voted. But it was, in the other three conferences, as you know, it was, voted by a big margin.